Bad news for Ragnarok Online 2 fans outside of Asia. Age of Empires Online stops production. Arctic Combat rings in the new year with an update, and more on this week's episode of Free to Play Weekly. While holidays might be over, that certainly hasn't stopped JoyMax and their MMORPG Night Age from letting the celebrations linger a little while longer. The publisher is celebrating the wintry weather in Night Age with tons of winter festivities, including the chance to team up with others and take on the giant new field boss who simply calls himself the Fat Snowman. This raid boss serves as more of a piñata punching bag than a boss, offering up no counterattacks, but instead bursting into massive amounts of little snowmen upon dying, each dropping a special item when defeated. By participating in events, players can score over 40 different items, including the new Snowman Poopa Pet, and the latest fashionable Night Age winter outfits. The winter events are set to end on January 15th, so players have a limited time left to participate. Webzen has wasted almost no time introducing their first bit of new content in 2013 for Arctic Combat. The update for the military FPS adds the new Repair Yard map and debuts the Demolition game mode, which combines Search and Destroy and Team Deathmatch, forcing teams to grapple over one bomb. With the new gameplay additions, players were also treated to a new passive skill, which lets players reload their guns magazine at a quicker rate, along with new weapons including the ACR assault rifle, which no modern shooter is complete without. Ragnarok Online 2, the sequel to everyone's favorite childhood 2D MMO, had a bit of a rocky start in late December, with publisher Asiasoft having to delay the open beta date due to high server congestion, which caused the game to be unplayable for most. The open beta release date was moved to January 3rd, where, as promised, Asiasoft released RO2 into open beta, but not before making a change that caused the game's community to break out into fits of rage. Originally, Asiasoft had marketed their release of Ragnarok Online 2 as the first English version of the game, with fans being led to believe they could access the game in the West, despite the actual servers being located in the SEA region. In a quick turn of events, however, Asiasoft released a message yesterday via the game's Facebook page, stating that the game would only be available to gamers from Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam due to Asiasoft's license agreement with the game's developer, Gravity. Despite the announcement, some players have already reported that the game doesn't seem to have implemented any concrete IP blocks, meaning players in areas such as Europe and North America can actually play. Asiasoft responded to the claims via Facebook response again, stating they were contractually bound to service players only in Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam, and no one who accesses the game outside of these regions were technically allowed, meaning players shouldn't get too cozy yet, as there could still be further restrictions on the way. So in the end, it looks like those of us still seeking an English release of Ragnarok Online 2 must unfortunately continue to play the waiting game. And if Duke Nukem has taught us anything, the wait can oftentimes be more memorable than the game itself. Age of Empires Online's lifespan has been quite the rollercoaster ride. Upon release, the RTS was marred by bad balance and pay-to-win practices, but impressively escaped pending free-to-play doom through the help of its developer Gas Powered Games, who stepped up and began rebalancing all aspects of the game in order to improve the free-to-play experience. Since then, the developers have been steadily adding new content, including brand new civilizations, each complete with their own unique-looking units. Unfortunately, the money needed to continue this seems to have dried out. According to a blog post on the main website, the team states they can simply no longer afford to keep creating content. The blog post does go on to say that the game's community will still see Gas Powered Games' full support, with tickets, forums, and everything else remaining the same. No one can necessarily fault the developers. Age of Empires Online predecessors all halted further development at some point, with the key difference being that those titles were obviously not free-to-play. Which brings us to the question, is it the game itself that should be faulted, or rather the decision to pair a game series such as Age of Empires with the free-to-play model? What do you think? And the game of the week is Star Conflict. Star Conflict is a sci-fi combat MMO, which has players piloting incredibly detailed spaceships in fast-paced, often frantic space combat. Players can side with one of 3 factions, each with their own rich backstory and unique spaceships. The MMO features a variety of team-based objective PvP modes, which award players with credits after each match. Players can spend credits and experience earned in battles on new ships, weapons, system modules, and performance upgrades in order to fully customize their style of combat. Players can choose to fill their hangars with every kind of spaceship imaginable, starting with small fighter ships, which focus on impressive speed and maneuverability, to large carrier-sized craft, which forego maneuverability in favor of sheer firepower and incredibly resistant shields, capable of surviving large amounts of direct fire. Depending on the ship type, players can research an extensive range of special modules, which can be equipped and swapped out to give players access to a wide array of special abilities unique to their aircraft type. Abilities range from ship cloaking, hull repair, and hyperjump, to area of effect buffs, which can be used to support friendly spacecraft. The game features some absolutely stunning visual effects and expansive levels that are sure to please any gamer who fancies himself a fledgling starship captain. And that's all we have for you this week, but as always, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, like, and leave us a comment below. And until next week, check out MMOBomb.com for more free-to-play action.